Hello, light beings. Hello, light workers. Hello, chosen ones. Hello, angels. Hello, fairies. Hello, everybody out there. This is Domas. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. I talk about whatever is stuck on my hand right now, probably some tobacco. First weekend at the new job. Exciting. I'm excited for the weekend, even though I don't have anything planned. I will just be drawing and resting and watching The Office. And that's what I do when I work. I just do normal things. And I will be continuing on this drawing. I showed it to you yesterday. Still got some space there and there. I might fill it up. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But wanted to ask you, how are you? Let me know in the comment section below. I will answer all your questions or all your comments. Yeah, I'm enjoying this new routine, new everyday working 5 days a week, learning a lot. Makes me realize that you're only learning when you're uncomfortable, and it's hard to be uncomfortable, but it really pushes you to new heights. You kind of like start to flow in that unknowingness. So yeah, I have a cool boss. I have a cool second boss, let's call it like that. We did some work today. We're installing ACs, air conditioning. And it's quite a difficult job, at least for me. And when I see how they're doing it and how quick and how effective they are, my colleagues, I'm like, one of them has been working there for a year, the other one has been doing it for 20 years. So when you compare yourself like that to other people, it's tough. You can't really, it doesn't make sense to compare yourself in that sense. So don't ever compare yourself unless it's you that you're comparing yourself to, because you can only compare yourself to how you were yesterday and how you were today. Today I did a task, yeah, whatever. It's a new job, but I did one task, and yeah, I did it on my own. And he was like, "Well done," So it's so important to get good feedback or get any feedback. So that's why I'm always saying, well done to you guys. You're doing amazing work. Whatever you're doing, you're trying your hardest. You're shining there wherever you are, in a puddle of mud or whatever you're at, whatever situation you would call yourself that you're in right now. You're doing your best. And there's only so much that you can do when you don't know what you're doing. And we don't know what we're doing in this life. Like some people are so well adapted to their circumstances. They're like fish in a pond, they just know all the nooks and crannies, if that's the way to express what I want to say. They know everything that they're doing. They never deviated from their path. They never they just, my boss, for example, he's like finished university's business studies, but he just went and started doing air conditioning, installing that, and somehow he just knows how to do it, and he's been doing it for 20 years. And it's like, how amazing is that? When somebody can choose that direction and kind of go that direction, it's awesome. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm like inspired by people like that. Like I do art, and they put out a new actually a newspaper with my article about the exhibition that I was in. Maybe I'll show it to you next time. But it's I'm glad to be where I'm at today. I can say that I'm like proud of myself for pushing myself in directions that I don't necessarily want to go. I'm not thinking like, wow, like that's what I really love to do. No, like I just quit one job, started a new one, and that new job has actually like propelled me in a different direction. I don't know why I feel like it. I don't know why I wanted to do it. Maybe it's in the genes. My dad is a construction worker, and he knows his craft very well, I think. And yeah, I don't know why he's never taught me anything. Maybe I never asked, but that's the thing. You don't really learn from your parents. You learn from whoever's teaching you, where really you should learn from the ones that are supposed to teach you, which is your parents. But parents don't think that they should teach you. Parents think they should parent you, and what about teaching? What about passing on what you never want to learn what your parents are teaching you. I don't know, maybe in this Western culture, I don't know. I'm not from the Western world. I'm from the East, like Eastern Europe, Lithuania. But I'm still in a in a developing country, but we're in the European Union, so I don't know, we could call ourselves Western in a way, but I don't know if everyone's Western, then where is East, where whatever. It's not even about that. It's about this lifetime and where you've been put in this world when you were born. Why you were born in such a family, why you were born with such mentality, why you are the way that you are and not any other way. Like that's the questions for me that are always bothering my head. It's kind of like thinking, why couldn't I do it one way or the other? Why did I have to choose it to be this way? Why did I have to make it so hard for myself? But I guess that's the answer, because I had to make it hard for myself. I just had to. I had to be challenged, And I'm saying about me, but I'm saying that's about you. You're supposed to be challenged. You are doing amazing, and you might be choosing a difficult path, and that difficult path is the one that you are supposed to go on. I don't know. I've never went the traditional learning way. I always did things like, you know, a little bit unorthodox, or I don't know why. It's probably not good. I never trusted the system, I never trusted the system, but I'm in the system, I'm part of the system. So one way or another, I'm part of the system. But now I'm learning about this system that is like, let's call it construction work. When you have something and you make it into something, when you have all these parts disassembled and you have to assemble them in the right way, and you know how to do it and you get paid for that, like, I mean, that's amazing, and you can't just learn it off the top of your head. Somebody needs to teach you, and being taught is difficult. It's tough to realize that you're not so perfect. You're not, so you don't damn well know anything. And it's tough, but it's also liberating because, if you don't know, then you can't lose anything. I know some things, but it looks like every day I'm learning things anew. I'm learning how to do everything fresh. I mean, there's some habitual doings that I do, but sometimes I feel like I have to relearn things all the time. I don't know if you feel like that, but let me know if you do. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to follow my route and what I do here, then subscribe. I want to let you know that I'm proud of you, wherever you're at in your life, whether you're young or old, or miserable or happy, hopeless or hopeful. You're at the right place and at the right time. You had to be born in this realm. You had to be going through evolution in this realm. And what is hard? What is difficult? What is the difficulty? I'm asking myself, what is difficult? It's like incompetentness. You kind of like, I kind of like feel like I'm incompetent, and that makes me go through this death. I'm like, "Ugh, I can't do this. Like, I don't know how to do it." And then I'm like, wait a minute, I know how to do it. I can figure it out. And then you're reborn, So I don't know. That's what's making me think about this rebirth. You know, what is the difficulty? Maybe the difficulty is the biggest joy, actually. When you learn something and you find joy in it. You know, and maybe it doesn't have to be big miracles in your life. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be, a pop star or like some famous dude or girl. Maybe your craft or whatever you're doing is your miracle. And maybe if you haven't found yourself yet, which is okay also, and a lot of people I think are not finding themselves till the very old age. And if you're finding yourself and you find yourself a little bit every day, and that finding yourself doesn't come through just chilling, like you go through difficulties. You have to go through a toughness, a death and a rebirth. And I'm just reflecting on my day really today, what was happening, and just looked at the clock and it said 13:13. Yeah, rebirth, death and rebirth. I think I was just thinking about how like ashamed I feel, ashamed, there's a lot of shame in me. And, when I go through that and I come out the other end and realize that, oh, actually, it's not that bad, then it isn't, you know. If you manage to survive, then you're one of the good ones, If you don't quit, so don't quit. And I'm wishing you all of the best during this weekend. Do something cool, do something nice for yourself. Buy a new piece of clothing or something. I need to do that. I'll be drawing, and you'll be hearing from me soon. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for coming onto my channel. And I'm about to sneeze, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye. No, I didn't say goodbye, but now I will. So peace out to you guys, and love you all. Thank you for being here. And yeah, tough to say goodbye, but peace.